Hello there and welcome back to Satisfactory. Yes, we're back on Satisfactory once again. Good to be continuing our single player playthrough on 1.1. Yes. Okay. So, if you weren't here last time, we had finished up the AI limiters and control rods factory. We got the rest of it, kind of the bottom put on. We got the doors in place. We extended up one more section for the tower to make it a little bit taller, a little more noticeable, I suppose. As well as we gotten a good start on the crystal oscillator factory. We decided on the crystal oscillator factory. We got the platform down and the train stations, as well as the train stations bringing the materials we need. So let's go ahead and get on into it. Let's go. Alrighty then, and here we are. Ready to get started on our crystal oscillator factory. So we've got everything we need. We're using the, in case you weren't here last time, we're using the alternate called the insulated crystal oscillator or something like that. I can't remember the exact recipe, or what the exact recipe is called, but what it uses is it uses quartz crystal, it uses rubber, and it uses AI limiters. I think you're gonna be using AI limiters no matter what. Actually, we can just find out if I can spell. No, I can't spell. I really can't spell today. There we go. Oh boy. Insulated crystal oscillator. Yep. So it uses quartz crystal, rubber, and AI limiters instead of using this recipe. This recipe, yes, it's cheaper, but I don't have the ability to make more cable at the moment. I'd have to go over to my cable factory, clear across the map, and up the cable. I'm trying to avoid doing that for right now. I don't want to go all the way back to the desert just so I can up a cable factory. So we're going to be using this one. This one makes a little more anyway per minute. So, and plus the amount of quartz crystal it uses is way down, and we're not really using our rubber. So yeah, and our AI limiters are going to go. The AI limiters are not going to towards the electromagnetic control rods anyway. So. And also the other recipe that uses AI limiters, I believe we're knocking that out. I believe that one is the supercomputer, and we're going to be using the super state computer that uses batteries, because no other factory in the game uses batteries, and batteries have become useless since they've removed them from the only thing that drones can use as fuel. So, just one more thing. You didn't probably see it. You didn't see it in the intro because I already recorded the intro. I record the intro long before I record the actual episode itself. That's just so I can do, you do a little bit of thinking on it, and I can record that multiple times or whatever if I need. But anyway, I completely forgot to remove this. But what I had done is I actually had shifted over. As you can see, we're now into this rock rather than a little bit of space from it. And there's a very big reason for this, and the very big reason is because the flying manta ray again has ruined our plans where our factory placement is. Only slightly though this time, only slightly, which is actually more annoying, because if it was the full body thing, then you could definitely work around that. But when it's only like the wing, or like a quarter to a half of the manta ray is flying into your building, and you're trying to maneuver your factory around that flight path, it's a little more annoying, I think, than the full body thing. Yeah, so out here, which is where the factory was, the flying manta ray's wingspan actually was clipping right into this, and then all the way into the train station. So a little bit of clipping was okay, but yeah, then I seen it fly. Its wingspan started clipping the train station itself as well, this train station here. So what I've done is I took an hour and moved everything over. Scooched everything over a foundation so that we didn't have that at all. And yeah, I had to put in these boxes, and I had to empty out all the train stations as well. Which was, that was very, very monotonous. Yeah, put up a bunch of boxes and whatnot. So, but it's all moved over, and I haven't seen the flying manta ray yet. Since I've done this, like, I haven't fully seen its flight path to see if I have amended the issue. But the flying manta ray will be here soon. See, it's flying through the computer factory right now. That's what that big hole is for in the computer factory, so that the flying manta ray can fly through it. Because the factory was already built, and it was already mostly planned out and built. I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing anything, so, or I'm not moving anything, so we're just going to make the flying manta ray fly through the build. And of course, yes, I know there's mods that are out there, but again, we're on a vanilla playthrough. This is a challenge playthrough that's on vanilla. No mods whatsoever are allowed. No mods whatsoever means no mods whatsoever. So doesn't matter if it's a tiny little mod that, you know, adds a little bit of extra lighting to the game, or something that, you know, adjusts the flying manta ray flight path. Doesn't matter. It's no mods. But next time we do a full playthrough, we're going to be doing Satisfactory Plus, and we're going to be doing all kinds of other mods and stuff like that to make our lives a heck of a lot easier and whatnot. So yeah, that'll be fun. Okay, so moving on to this factory, now that we've got our, you know, kind of intro stuff out of the way. We're going to be making this factory work today, or I'm going to try anyways. Or I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to try. We're at least going to do blueprints. Okay, so first things first, as we usually do, we take ourselves a wall, and we're going to put up 6 walls in an upwards fashion, of course. And then we're going to take a foundation. We're going to do a 1 meter foundation. And we're going to stretch that across. Oh, here comes the flying manta ray. Let's see if it clips my building this time. I think I've got it fixed, because it was just clipping the very edge of the train station. So let's see if he right into the foundation, or just underneath it. A little bit of clipping's okay. That right there, I can handle. There you go. Pet ya. That's from way over here. I can you know. What do they call it? I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, so we're going to be putting up, as per our usual, we're going to encase the train station into the factory itself. Because I love doing that. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, and I couldn't go longer with this train station, because then I would have ran into the other factory, unfortunately, with my trains. Man. And you know, if you want to know what the challenges are, you can ask me, and I'll respond to it in the comment section. There's a little bit of explanations to go through. But one being, you know, the five car trains only. You know, no other transport is allowed. 5 car trains only. So, and trains cannot be mixed. You know, it forces me to build big, which was the whole point of that. Because usually what I'll do is I'll build like a small factory and then just kind of build it somewhere else. You know, or like the last season where we did a city build where everything was in one single place. So there were some rules put in place that kept me from doing something like that again, which is basically individual factories can only make one thing, and you must import, you know, that kind of stuff. I have it all written down somewhere. But yeah, doing that kind of stuff, though, you know, people always say, you know, talk about experiencing burnout when it comes to Satisfactory, which is totally understandable. I mean, Satisfactory is one of those games that if you're not fully committed into it, you're going to have a very tough time, and you may even quit at, you know, playing. There's tons of people that have, you know, bought the game, they played a little bit of it, they got, you know, like 20 hours in or whatever, and they quit playing because they either it was too frustrating of a learning curve to learn, or they, you know, they experience burnout because it's just Satisfactory is like committing to a very serious relationship, and you're going to be in it for the long haul. You know, you're going to be in it for the long haul, and there's going to be a lot of trial and whatnot. Basically, Satisfactory is this game is not handholdy whatsoever. It's a fully open world sandbox game that gives you a slight tutorial on how to get started on making factories, and then it just leaves you to it. Says, here you go. Okay, I've taught you how to make factories and how to complete objectives with those factories, and now you're on your own. And then the next, 40, 50 hours to 100 hours to 200 hours to 500 hours to 1,000 hours. I mean, I'm not saying that that's how long it takes to finish the game. It's just, it depends on your play style and depends on what you want to do as well. So, yeah, and whatnot. And it just says, okay, this is how you do it. So go have fun. Go build what you want to build how you want to build it. And as long as you're completing objectives, the game does not care how you get there. So there's a lot of creativity to be had. But one of the things when it comes to that though is you do experience burnout, especially when you're doing more than one playthrough. After you finish the game, you're like, okay, I want to go back in and I want to make my playthrough much better and stuff like that. The one thing you can do to kind of mitigate that a little bit, especially during like second and third playthroughs, some suggest mods and stuff like that, and maybe that's a good idea and whatnot. Depends on what you want. But one of my current suggestions is to go in, create some goals and create some challenges for yourself. Just a little bit, maybe not challenges necessarily, but I'm not saying like go in and do something really crazy challenge that is going to make it extremely difficult to complete the game or anything like that. Nothing like that necessarily, but just some kind of goal or challenge that will kind of push you into a new space. Because obviously the very first, just about everybody's first playthrough, unless they played a crap ton of factory games in the past. But a lot of people's very first playthrough is going to be very spaghetti-ified. It's going to be very all over the place. There's going to be, a lot of factories and stuff, a lot of factory builds and stuff like that are just machines on the ground, on foundations, belts going everywhere, that kind of stuff, And that's what everybody's first playthrough, even mine. My very first playthrough. You can watch my very first playthrough here on YouTube as well. I don't recommend it. But yeah, you can definitely watch it. You can definitely watch season 1, where I've experienced the game for the very first time, as well as my second playthrough was also on YouTube. My third playthrough was not on YouTube. My third playthrough was with friends on a other game. We went through the game. I'd say my third and fourth playthrough probably weren't on YouTube itself. My third playthrough, and then we did, and then around that time I started season 3, because after we just got season 2 done, we did season 3, which was the city build, which was now that for that particular one, that one was mods included, but we were to build a city with each building housing a factory. Each building has to make one thing, and then we got to connect it, and we connected it with a huge underground belt network, which at times was definitely a little spaghetti-ified. There was a little bit of clipping and stuff. It was very interesting to build. Okay, so now that we got this huge platform, this is the size, basically the size of the factory. So it's supposed to be the base. Now, what we talked about last time was a rounded factory, and I wanted to blueprint some stuff. Now, I'm not exactly sure how I want to blueprint this or what I want to get done. We could use the warp gate stuff. We haven't gotten to use that other than... Ooh. That could be pretty cool. What do you guys think of that? Yeah, that could be very interesting. Like using this. I mean, I'd probably have to rebuild it, but yeah. Let's throw down a blueprinter and get started on something like that. But yeah, like I said, definitely one of my very first, or one of my recommendations for this game is, after your first playthrough, after you've experienced the game in full, gone through it without really a whole lot of help. I mean, you're gonna need help, of course. I mean, just about everybody does, to get stuff figured out. But after that very first playthrough, the second playthrough, go through it again, but go through it with some goals and stuff. Stuff that's going to help you be better at the game, essentially. If that makes some, I think I'm going to do metal pillars. If that makes somewhat of some sense, I guess. Because yeah, my second playthrough, season 2, was exactly that. I had been playing a game with a friend of mine, and I would not have told the story a few times, but a good friend of mine, Curtis, we were really into this game at that time, and he said, let's do I'll be on the channel and let's do a playthrough together, which was a heck of a lot of fun. And we set challenges for our very specific selves. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. But a very specific challenge for each of us. And one of those challenges was for him, because he builds more direct, I guess you could say. Like his style of building is chaos, but chaos that works, essentially. Like he'll have 2 machines, let's say one machine, or have 3 machines. Let's say one machine is in the way of another machine, but he needs to get to that third machine with a belt. He'll run the belt straight through the machine. Or let's say he's got a hill in his way that he needs to run the belt through. If he can, he'll run that belt straight through the hill. it's the fastest, the fastest, quickest, like he's doing a speed run. And that's how he built. And nothing wrong with that. You can absolutely be a chaos builder. And then me trying to be the clean builder and stuff like that. So what we done is, for him to kind of challenge his gameplay a little bit, was to, let's see, do we want to do that? Nah. We could go all the way out to, we can't really go all the way out necessarily. Basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create a disc, because the crystal oscillator is like a disc, so that's what I'm trying to make. The only problem with making it larger is the blueprinter does not like certain things. It does not like if I put this here and I try to fill that gap, I might have issues. Yeah. But yeah, that was one of the challenges for him, was to no soft clipping. That was the challenge of that playthrough, was no soft clipping allowed. So if it turns yellow, it's not allowed to be placed. There was a caveat to that, of course, when you place belts on a belt stacker, sometimes they turned yellow, and that was a little bit different, but yeah. And then for me, I always like to build a factory, get what I need, and then delete that factory to build the more proper factory that I need. So I go from temporary to permanent, and I still play to that. I still play like that to this day. But one of the challenges the challenge for me was no deletion. No deletion allowed. And that was my challenge. And it allowed me to fill that gap, so I'm pretty happy about that. Okay. I know I've built this several times, but yeah, this is basically how you build a rounded structure. Yeah, and after this playthrough as well, one of the things I'm going to be doing is I'm not going to do the modded playthrough for a while. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some time, because I've been talking about, my voice broke there. I've been talking about doing tutorials for a long time. Oh, whoops. Hold on. Screwed that up badly. But I've been talking about doing tutorials for a long time. It's just doing the main series on top of doing series for other games and stuff like that and putting out a video a day. Doing tutorials is near impossible with the amount of time during the day. It's just not possible to be able to do that. Because, you know, when it comes to tutorials, there's a lot of you gotta, you know, if you want to be consistent, you gotta write a script and all that other stuff. You gotta write a script, you gotta edit it, you gotta make it look good, sound good, for it to be useful to people. And I firmly believe that it needs to be extremely useful, obviously. But my problem is the last tutorial that I did ended up. The tutorial was useful. It was extremely disconnected. It was extremely all over the place, and I don't want to do that again because that tutorial was abysmal. I mean, the information was there, but you had to pick through the content in order to get the useful information out of it. And that was let's move this down a little bit. And that was my main issue. So yeah, you got to write the script. You've got that way you stick to the script and you get to what you're talking about very quickly, very easily. A very decently short tutorial that gives you the information you need for what you came there for is going to be my goal. And there's a lot of editing involved in that and stuff like that, and a lot of recording to do and whatnot. So what we'll do is we'll release tutorials, but yeah, there won't be any extra like main game content, playthrough content like there is now with Satisfactory itself. There'll still be other games going on, but yeah, it won't be this. And then once I I'm fairly happy with the tutorials I've made and stuff like that and whatnot, then maybe we'll go to another playthrough that is a modded playthrough with Satisfactory Plus, like I want to do, and then other mods as well. So that's kind of my plan. But that is don't worry, that's a long time from now. So because I can't make tutorials on a game I have not finished yet, technically. I've finished Satisfactory many times. I've gone all the way to the end of Phase 4. But I've never been to Phase 5 since 1.0 released. Of course, I say since 1.0 released. There was no Phase 5 until 1.0. But yeah, since 1.0 released, I have not finished the game. Like I said, I've finished the game many times before Phase 5 was here, but now it's that. So yeah, I don't feel comfortable going and doing tutorials anyway until I get to Phase 5. Until I've experienced Phase 5, then I can make tutorials on it, of course. Because when it comes to this type of game, I may be a little confused at the beginning, but I get the information very quickly. I soak it up like a sponge. Like with trains, a lot of people struggle with trains, which is understandable. I understand the struggle with trains. But when I started using trains more regularly, I definitely got the hang of trains and whatnot. I was able to get the information that I needed just within the game itself. I basically self-taught myself how to use trains. And now I have, hundreds and hundreds of hours experience with the trains in the game, and I can make the trains dance if you want them to. Just about, within the limits of the game itself, of course, but I can do just about what I want with a train and make it work. Oh, whoops, I didn't adjust my... Yeah, that's how you build a circle, by the way. So yeah, I'm going to work on this blueprint a little bit more, and then we will move on to move on to the layout and whatnot, see if we can get this factory up and going today. Alrighty, so now that we've got our blueprints done, or 2 blueprints done, I haven't gotten them all. I just got the two blueprints that we need to make a desk, essentially. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear this blueprint designer. Yeah, I don't know how thick these discs are going to be. I want them to be 1 thick, but obviously it's not going to work. It's not going to work like that. But my basic idea is I wanted to put the manufacturers in the middle of these discs, and what we'll do is we'll have multiple discs. Obviously, they're not going to be at the angle. I could do an angle disc to make it look more like the thing, but yeah, that's just not. I just don't have the patience for that, man. I want to get this factory done, move on to the next one. But I still have the idea, of course. So, oops. We got Iron Arch 1, which is the top quarter, and then we've got Iron Arch 2, which is the bottom quarter. Actually, you know what? We do one disc, and then we put the... How many manufacturers? 10? 10 manufacturers, right? I actually might reduce that number. Let's see. Yeah, it was 10 manufacturers. I might reduce that number. Because a manufacturer is just so thick. If we reduce it down to 5, we just overclock the crap out of it. It's still going to be... Yeah, maybe we overclock the crap out of it, like double. So we manufacture, we drop it down to 5, go 4 per minute instead. If we go 4 per minute per machine, I believe they can do that. Pretty sure. Production. Oh, I clicked it, but sometimes it doesn't register. Okay. There we go. They're gonna need 2 of them. Okay, so we're gonna need all 3. Yeah, I might do it this way. We're gonna need all 3, but yeah. So we'll just leave that there for now, because we're probably gonna end up using it, or middle clicking it. Okay, so the way this needs to work is the disc needs to be off the ground. So blueprints, Iron Arch 2, which is the bottom half. All right, I need to find. Okay, we're gonna do basically what we're gonna do is do a mock-up, but I need to find the middle. Actually, we should probably find the middle both directions. All right, 21, so that's 10 either side. Okay, so that means this one is the middle. Okay. And then we'll see how boxy this actually is. Oh, perfect. Oh, no, I'm not stupid. I thought I was being stupid there. No, it is 21. Oh, dude, that's actually that was not intended. That's definitely not intended. Okay. So there's our exact middle, because it's going to be one single disc, I think. Well, it's going to be several discs, but it's going to be... oh, man. It's not going to work. However, we could do I guess we could do a rounded factory. Oh, man, that's going to be interesting. Okay, so we have the rounded factory, but obviously I want to elevate it because I want it to be... I'm just trying to think how well that could work. Alright, you know what? Blueprints. Let's go blueprinter. Let's wait for the autosave to freeze our game, of course. There we go. We could do multiple... Wait, how many discs can we fit up? Actually, that could work pretty well, as well. Okay, how many can we fit up here? Probably not very many. As big as this is, probably not very many. Of course, they can hang off the edge if we really need them to. So then for this to be a full disc, it does have to overlap entirely the centerpiece in order for it to make the perfect curve. All right, looks like 2. Oops. Okay, so we could do 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ugh. That doesn't work. That doesn't work for me. Yeah. I mean, we could have each disc have a manufacturer in it, I suppose. I'm just trying to think of a way to make this interesting, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, we could do the single cylindrical all the way down this, and then have the 5 manufacturers in the middle of that, up in the air. If we do 10, we could do 5 manufacturers down each side, then we could have the 2, put some space in between them. But yeah, here's the thing is it's not going to be a disc, it's going to be a rounded structure. It's going to be more like a tube, if I do it that way as well. The manufacturers could sit outside. Like this would be a very interesting build. So we have the manufacturers in the center of each disc, right? We have them as discs. The discs don't incorporate the manufacturer where it's hidden. The manufacturers are outside, up in the air, being held in the center of each disc. That could be kind of cool. So yeah, we do 5 of them down the center, kind of like a rack. So we have each manufacturer in the center of each disc. We have 5 discs down the center like a rack. And then what we do is we bring, like, all the belts are going to be down here on this floor because all the manufacturers are going to be up in the air. That could be kind of cool. I could work with that. Like I said, I'm trying to do an interesting build that's kind of unconventional. Because we've had too many factories that are they're not really conventional per se, but they're more conventional than say like our cooling systems factory that looks like a supercharger. I mean, you can't blame me for that one, because man, the cooling systems in this game does look like a futuristic supercharger that you would stick on a motor on an engine. So yeah, like a futuristic kind of weirdly straight line shaped rather than rounded shape like we have now. Yes. Okay. So Iron Arch 2. Yeah, we'll do 5. We'll do the 5 because we'll have the central disc here. How big is that going to be necessarily? It's not going to be big enough. Maybe we do 10 of them. We do. Maybe we do 10. Hold on. So we lift it up off the ground, right? Obviously, kind of like a disc is, or kind of like it is, like the crystal oscillator is. So if we put this together, put it in blueprint mode. Blueprint mode. Oh, that was my bad. 1, 2. I did not do that correctly. I need to overlap them. And then autosave freeze, of course. We may not get this factory up and running, but we can at least get the factory plate, more or less. And then we'll worry about belts next time. There you go. Okay, I just want to see how big this disc is going to be. And Iron Arch 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gotta make sure we overlap it perfectly. Oops. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I should line up perfectly with that. Yep. I mean, that's a pretty big disc, you know what I mean? Obviously, the disc is going to be a bit thicker than it currently is. Yeah, then we have like so say like these are they're 3 wide, and then or 4. Maybe we do 4 wide and do a full foundation size disc. And then at least it has the manufacturer has a decent platform to sit on in the center. And then obviously what I'm going to do as well with each of these blueprints is we'll make a separate blueprint, but what we'll do is we'll fill it in. I think fill it in almost all the way to the center where the manufacturer will sit in the center of that. We'll need a 3x3 foundation, so it's going to be it's going to be interesting. So yeah, and then we'll fit the manufacturer in the center of that, and then we'll have 5 of these along the way there. And then what we'll have is we'll have a structure come up from each side and then hold the disc in the center. We'll have a structure piece that goes over the center of the disc towards the center where the manufacturer are. That's how we do sentences. Where the manufacturers are, and then those will bring in the belt. Like they'll bring in material and take out material to each one. And so it'll be it's definitely going to be a interesting structure. So let's make that work, shall we? So make these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these 2 thick. Actually, sorry, not 4 thick. They're going to be 2 thick to match up a single foundation. And then on top of that, I'm going to fill it in mostly in the center, except for where the center of the disc is. Well, that's where the manufacturer will sit. I think that can definitely work like that. So yeah, let me. That's going to take me a minute, so I'll get that done real quick. Alright then, so we finally got, I finally got the rings complete, and I actually got the manufacturers where I wanted them as well. I got a little bit carried away, but I know we're getting closer to the end of our time for this episode, so we're going to go ahead and make this quick, of course. And we'll do the belting later, the power and the belting, but I've got all the manufacturers in place, and I got the recipe set as well for those. So, they're not included in the blueprints, they're just you're not able to do it because these are quarter blueprints. So, but yeah, just to kind of rehash though, here's our arch one that we just built. Yeah, so we've got the arch one, which this is just the circle that we started with, and then we built upon that. I spent a few hours designing this blueprint as well, and you're gonna notice my game is lagging quite a bit. It's just the PC's not all too happy with me right now. So these blueprints are very, very expensive as well. I try not to go too crazy on them, but there was a smidge of craziness, just a little dash, of craziness. And these blueprints cost 800 and some odd iron plates, and they cost like almost 400 quartz crystal, as well as like 500 and some concrete or something like that. But yeah, so this is number 2. This is the under portion, so we can make the full ring. And now I'm going to go ahead and load once my PC decides to wake up. It's having a hard time right now. We're going to go ahead and go to Iron Arch 3. As you can see, 800... Sorry, not 500. Not 500 concrete. 822 plates. Okay, I was a little bit off. I couldn't remember the exact number, but 857 concrete and 304 quartz crystal. So not quite almost 400, but yeah, 304. And here's what I came up with. So with this particular ring, I wanted to put some lights on the inner and outer edge. And actually, this right here, this gap, it's not really gap. It's just a little thing, because when you go from facing this way with beams to facing facing, you know, that way with the beam, you get this little bit of a gap because the corners aren't square, and that's just how that managed to get put together. But actually, that is intentional. I did not try to fix that. I actually like it. But yeah, so I wanted a basically a neon light to go around the outer edge and the inner edge, and then I was like, okay, we got that, and then I got these for the manufacturer being in the center, so we get this glow kind of lights up the machines a little bit. Then on top of that, I'm like, okay, I need something else in the center. This is just not, it's too plain. So I started off with these. These are beam connector supports. So what I did was I put them out here, and then I just nudged them all the way to the center on each piece, or on every other one. And then I did the same with there. I put them there and nudged them in a little bit. So yeah, something that's really cool with these particular beams at this angle. Sorry, I had I got interrupted, but yeah, you can actually place this beam like this. Let's say that you want this, but you want it to go out to the right. But at this specific angle, you can actually leave it on default, and you can click this and then go like this. And you see, even though it's on default and it's at an angle, it's still going perfectly straight. So that's how I got those to go all up and all the way around that, which is actually pretty cool. So I actually like this. I like this blueprint. So what we're going to do, just to kind of save on a little bit of resources, we're going to go ahead and clear this. Come on, game. You can do it. There we go. It's none too happy with me right now. Definitely not. And then we're going to go out here, and I'm going to show you what this looks like. So we got 5 discs on top of the build, up in the air. I deleted all the little posts and stuff as well, but here's what we got. So I stuck the manufacturer right there in the middle, roughly pretty good there. It's on this little platform. So yeah, there's going to be discs, and then like I said, those little things that come across, that's where we're going to run the belts and stuff like that. So, and then back down. So each machine's going to have its own set of belts. Essentially, we're going to split them down here on this platform, which you know, I still think this looks pretty good. So yeah, I really do enjoy that there, which is really nice. Alrighty, hopefully we're done with interruptions today. But yeah, so I really do like it. It looks really good. It was good. It's what I was going for. I wanted the manufacturers in the center to be kind of the disk stabilizer. I don't know what it's called. Anybody know what it's called inside of a disk drive? The centerpiece that holds the disk in place while it spins. It holds it firmly in place so that the disk is spinning. It's also part of the electric motor that spins it. That spins it at a certain RPM. I think it's called it's some kind of disk stabilizer or something like that. I can't remember, but yeah, the manufacturer is going to be a portion of that. And you can see the manufacturers actually don't clip. There's a few of these that for some reason they decided to push the leg down past the foundation into the thing, but I'm not going to worry about that. But other than that, though, other than the platform kind of touching it, it actually doesn't clip the disc itself, which is actually pretty nice. They fit in there pretty nicely. So then they're going to be mostly exposed like this. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to run the belts to the sides, and we'll have to do that next time because unfortunately we are pretty much out of time for this episode. So we're going to go ahead and leave it here. And next time we're going to build the structure that goes up and over to the center to help stabilize the discs so they're not just, you know, floating in the air. But yeah, they're going to connect to the manufacturer, and then we're going to run our belts inside of those columns that come up, kind of like the crystal oscillator is in the actual game. So I think this looks pretty good. Now I was going to put lights across these beams right here, but I figured that was too much. So I did kind of hold back a little bit. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good, and I think it'll work really, really well. And yeah, next time we'll have to figure out all the cool stuff on it, but we'll see what happens. We shall see. But yeah, like I said, that is pretty much going to be it for this episode of Satisfactory, and we'll finish this, or we'll do some more work on it next time. So since that is it, I do hope you enjoyed. Oh, and before you go, I'd like to give a huge shout out and thank you to all of the investors you can see on your screen right now. Seriously, thank you. You guys are awesome. It is much appreciated. And until next time, I guess it's a goodbye.